One of the things I want to talk about real quick is the difference that using dumbbells or a barbell will have on the muscles involved when doing upper body extension oriented movements. So I'm talking about bench presses, incline presses, overhead presses, and even skull crushers. So what difference will it have on the muscles responsible for doing those exercises if you do them with dumbbells or if you do it with a barbell? So the difference here is that with dumbbells, you only got one hand on the weight. So whether you do one arm at a time or both at the same time, you only got one hand on each dumbbell. With a barbell, you have two hands on one bar. So the difference is the stability component. What effect will that have on the muscles involved in these lifts? Now, when you use dumbbells, the muscles of the shoulder not only have to produce force to actually do the exercise, but also to stabilize the shoulder, to stabilize the arm, so other muscles involved can do their job. They don't have an opportunity to disengage as much, even if you lock out. Therefore, they're going to become a limiting factor. If they become a limiting factor, that means that they were recruited and fatigued the most. When using a barbell, lower stability component, the muscles of the shoulder don't have to do as much work to promote stability. So by default, the relatively smallest and weakest muscle involved in the lift is going to become a limiting factor. It's going to be the triceps. They also don't have an opportunity to disengage unless you're locking out between your reps to allow your muscles to kind of regenerate so that you can actually do more reps. So depending on why you do what you do should influence whether or not you want to do that in the first place. So the take home here though is that if you want to increase the demand on the shoulders at the expense of everything else, do your upper body extension oriented movements with dumbbells. You want to increase the demand on the triceps? Do those same movements with the barbell. Now, one of the benefits to using a barbell is you have the luxury of applying medial or lateral forces, trying to bring your hands together or push them apart when doing these movements. And that will artificially increase the demand on the muscles responsible for producing force to perform those directions of effort. So what I mean by that is if you're holding onto a bar, say try to bring your hands together, you could try, but it's not going to happen. That's going to increase the demand on the chest. Those muscles are responsible for that direction of effort. I say try to push your hands apart, you could try, it's not going to happen, or at least it's not supposed to. You're going to increase the demand on the back of the shoulder and the triceps. You'll have a more stable base to push off from. Therefore, you can lift more weight and impose a greater demand. You don't have that luxury of dumbbells. If you try to do that, they'll come together and hit each other, or they'll go out and you'll compromise the movement. You're not going to get a good return on that investment. So this isn't to suggest that doing it with dumbbells works the shoulders only, or with barbells works the triceps only, but that the relative demand on those muscles will vary based on the tool used for the job. You should take all of this information into consideration when determining what you're going to include in your strategy, depending on why you're doing what you do in the first place. You like the information, share it. Click the fucking button at the bottom, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep bringing you the best information you're going to find as it relates to training to build muscle and get stronger.